Good morning, everyone. From me, Brent Graham, and welcome to this Stage 9 betting preview of the Tour de France. Coming to you a bit later than normal. Had a bit of a late night last night after the rugby test matches, but ready to go again and hopefully make some recovery after a bit of a disappointing Saturday on the punting front for me. A reminder that World Sports Betting have a money back for second place, a refund, terms and conditions on their website. If you do enjoy these shows, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. It certainly does help us a lot. And if you are interested in the overall betting side of things, then subscribe to our newsletter, which is free every week on a Friday. And well, this week, unfortunately, didn't go well, but let's hope we can bounce back in good time. Right then, let's get cracking with a review of Stage 8. It was a stage I unfortunately wasn't able to watch live all the way, but managed to catch up with it last night when I got home. And well done to Mats Pedersen. His team rode for him during the day, and he delivered in no uncertain terms. A brilliant sprint. He really can hold a long sprint together up an incline, and he did exactly that. Philipsen came hard at him, and credit as well to Philipsen. Those who watched yesterday's preview will know that I was hoping that it would be Mathieu van der Poel sprinting for the team, but Philipsen made it through some of those tough rises at the end there, and he sprinted for the win, but his winning streak was broken by Pedersen. Very well done to the Lidl Trek rider there. Wout van Aert was my pick for the stage, and it did appear everything was going according to plan with his team Jumbo-Visma riding hard on the front. But somehow or other he got out of position, and he came with a late surge, but it was too late. I was hoping he would at least grab second place. I could get my money back with World Sports Betting, but it was not to be. Very good sprint there from Groeneweg, and he has done some good sprints on rises before, but the way he was riding in this tour, I didn't expect him to be in the mix. Right, that's that as far as the yesterday goes. Let's just have a look at the classifications and just see. There obviously hasn't been a lot of change, but Jonas Vingegaard 8-10 to win the Tour de France today. Pogacar 23-20, you can get 28-1 and better the balance there. And then moving on, we've got the King of the Mountains betting. This is starting to look like a match race as well between the top two. We've got Pogacar and Vingegaard 11-4 and 38-10 respectively. Felix Galvert today, I think, could be a big stage for him. He's 9-2 for the King of the Mountains jersey. Points classification, well, Philipsen almost has to just stay upright now to get that. He's 1-8. Pedersen will probably still be going for the intermediates. He's sitting there 12-1 with Brian Cockard. Let's go to the team classification, where Ineos Grenadiers are 9-20. It's very slight drift there, but they certainly have this very much under control. Right, on to stage number 9, and it's going to be a very interesting stage this today. Similar terrain to what we saw yesterday, lots of sort of rolling hills. We've got a 2 Cat 4s and a Cat 3 climb, and then we come to this one, the Puy de Dôme. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it hasn't been used in the Tour de France in 35 years. 13.3 kilometers at 7.7%. And yes, the riders are going to get cracking there. There's 182.4 kilometers. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to try and show you just the gradients of that final climb in a minute, because it really is tough. Those last 4 kilometers don't go under 11%. So this is going to be a really, really tough stage. So the question is, what sort of stage are we going to get here? Are we going to get one fought out between the general classification candidates, like Pogacar and Vingegaard, or is this going to be one for the breakaway? And I must admit, I've given it a lot of thought while I was lying in bed as I woke up this morning, even thinking, what is going to happen on the stage? And I'm really not too sure, to tell you the truth. We'll have a look at the betting now. You can see that the betting does favor the general classification candidates fighting this out. We've got Pogacar at 9-4, Vingegaard at 7-2 for the stage. If you do think it's going to come together, and there's a very good chance that these two fight out the stage win, then you definitely want to take advantage of that World Sports Betting second place promo, because no matter which one you pick, they're probably going to run first and second if it is a general classification race. So at the end of the day, and let's go back to the route, I'm not so sure. I think we're going to get a very strong break going away, although there's no classified climb for quite a while. I mean, look at the rise here before this first sprint. That in itself looks it looks like a bit of a climb if you compare it to some of these others. And it's fairly lengthy as well. It's almost like 8-9 kilometers of a fairly decent rise. And I think we're going to get a strong break going away today. A lot of guys are going to be giving it their all. Tomorrow is a rest day, and there's also a lot of fatigue in the peloton. You could see it yesterday. Riders are starting to struggle, and it's going to be harder and harder for teams to keep the stage together. Okay, so the break goes away. I think we're going to get a fairly significant break, maybe 6 to 8 riders going away, and some fairly strong riders as well. The question is, who then chases the break? Well, obviously the yellow jersey team of Jumbo-Visma will have to keep some control on it, particularly if there's anyone in there within a few minutes of the jersey, which I probably doubt there will be. But do Jumbo-Visma have the appetite to chase this down for the stage win? Well, after Wednesday's stage when they put Pogacar on the rack, I would have said no, absolutely no doubt about it. But the last time they climbed on Thursday, Pogacar obviously was it Friday? I forget which day exactly it was now. But the last time they climbed, Pogacar obviously beat Vingegaard. So I'm not sure that Jumbo-Visma are going to want to take Pogacar all the way up to the final sort of steep bit of the climb and let him sprint for the bonus point win this. So I don't know that they're going to chase the break. The question is then, does Pogacar put his team on the front to chase the break? And a similar comment, Wednesday showed he had weakness, and does he want to burn his team and only to find that Sepkus takes him up the final climb and Vingegaard manages to break him and go away for the win? So I think the break has actually got a very good chance today, because I'm not convinced that either of UAE or Jumbo, which will be the only two teams which would really chase hard for the stage win. I mean, Bora, for example, could defend their position of third, but they're not going to chase hard for the win because they know they're basically just handing it to either Vingegaard or Pogacar there. So I think the break is going to stick, and you'll see I've sort of bet accordingly. But let's just have a quick look at this final climb. I'll just bring this up. It normally takes a little bit of time just to refresh. I did actually take a shot of it. It doesn't look like it's going to play ball with me today. I don't know. Our battle with this Tour de France site, so we won't have a look at the gradients there. But as I said, the last 4 kilometers, it's all black on the map there. It's over 11% gradient, so that's going to be very, very tough. Time to get into the bets. But before I do that, I just want to make one mention of obviously something that happened yesterday, and that was Mark Cavendish crashing out. Very, very sad to see the Manx Missile go down like that. He had shown great promise the day before on Friday's stage with an unlucky sprint where he had gear problems. We could have got that 35th victory. But now, unfortunately, well, it's definitely not going to happen this year. He's out the race. And, this was going to be his swan song. Very interesting to see if he does reconsider it all. I'm really hoping that he does come back next year. But let's face it, cycling, so many sacrifices. He sacrificed so much over his brilliant career. And, yeah, very well done, Cavendish. So sad to see you go out yesterday. Right, let's get into the betting now. And I'm going to go. I'm going for the break to stick today. That's my betting strategy. I just prefer it to putting a bigger bet down on either of the two favourites there. But it's going to be very interesting to see if the break does stick. I'm going for half a unit on Gal at 20-1. He's looking very good. He likes the steep climbs. And then half a unit on Ciccone at 20-1, who hasn't looked that great, but has now he's lost enough time to be given some freedom. And I am expecting him to get into the break today. So I'm going for the pair of them at 20-1. And then I've got a pair of rank outsiders that I'm going for. And the South Africans will enjoy this one. I don't know if my mate Glenn Penfold will be watching, but excuse me, quarter unit Louis Meintjes at 125-1. Meintjes, he can handle this final climb. There's no doubt about that. He's not the most attacking rider, but he has shown a tendency to get into breaks in recent years, and in that way ride himself into the top 10 of classifications. And if he finds himself in the right break, he could just finish the job. And then Pedrero showed good legs last week as well. He's certainly one that could make it into the break. I don't know if he's got if this final climb will suit him 100%, but at 125-1, we won't do too much damage there. I'm having a quarter of a unit on each of those. And then finally, let's bring up some match betting here. And I've had a message from Henrik Lemmer on Twitter, a very, very keen cycling follower and a guy who's been involved himself in cycling throughout his life. And he reckons that Garda over Simon Yates here at even money. So if we'll find that it's just above the line there at even money. And his logic here, I haven't had an in-depth chat with him about it, but his logic, I believe, is that Simon Yates went down yesterday. He did get back on his bike and finish. But certainly there could be some, the day after a crash, when you wake up, you may not feel it during the stage, your adrenaline's still going, but he reckons Simon Yates, I think his body could be a bit sore today. And then there's the other element of it. There's the mental element of crashing and effectively seeing your chances of potentially a podium or whatever disappearing. And yeah, I actually like this one as well, and I'm putting it up there. Thanks to Accurate Glen. Gadu over Yates at even money. That's it for this stage 9 betting preview. We've got a rest day tomorrow, but I'll be out with the preview for stage 10 at some stage during the day. Enjoy the tour, and on a personal note, just hoping I can hit the bookies today and make a bit of cash back.